Guys, am I live on my channel? Oh God, I think I'm live, right? Yeah, I think I'm live. Okay. Okay, fine. So I can say, okay, there is a big problem I think today. Mayur, what did you say today about my internet? Okay, let's start with our today's session that is related to the basic end games. Okay, and then we will figure it out what we will be doing next. Just 1 minute, let me get the board. Okay, this is the board, normal board. This is bad. So now hopefully it's a reverse jinx. Yeah, hopefully it will happen. Yeah. So basic end games means the idea. Now most of you who are watching this thing might be very well like in the end game or something. You might be knowing all the end games. You might be thinking that why am I taking this kind of session. But the basic idea of this learn chess series was to help each and everyone whoever wants to learn chess. Like initially I talked about the tactics for 3 days, then next 3 days we talked about 3 or more days we talked about basic opening principles and the middle game things. And now I think like it's very important to study the end games also. So I will be we will be trying to learn something related to the end games which is very basics, and we will build up from that thing. Okay, like overkill checkmates, then we will talk about the pawn end games, then rook end games, knight end games, but the basic things in that, not too much of complications. Okay, so would you like to, should I continue? Okay, mantrala. Okay, the first thing is that when we have two queens on the board, how to checkmate? It is the easiest thing to do on the chessboard because, okay, I'll keep the queen, king in the center of the board. Okay, so yeah, it's a beginner class only. Harsh, all the learn chess classes are beginners for beginners. Every day it's for beginners. Okay, fine. So here the simple technique is for the thing is that we can checkmate black's king by ladder technique, right? So ladder means what? Step by step you will go further and further, like we will step up. Like here, if you know, I already know files and ranks are there. Okay, okay, then what we will do, we will try to push this king in the back rank so that we can checkmate him. We can do it by files, we can do it by ranks also. So it is our wish. Like if you want to do it, we will see both the things, that we can give a check. Then wherever the black king will go, we'll start keep giving him checks. And this is the easiest way to checkmate him. Just we will keep on going down or up wherever we want to go. It's kind of a ladder. So this check and this check and this and then this, and it will be a check and mate. Same thing will happen if we try to do it with the files also. So we might start with the check here, and then we again give a check. He might play this move, we will give this check, and maybe he will play this move, we will give this check. And now we need to play a little bit more. Maybe we can play this move, he will play this move, and we will give this check and mate. So every time you just cut your opponent's king by one file or one ranks, something like that, and you will be able to check and mate. So same thing happens when we have two rooks also on the chessboard. Okay, so on the chessboard, if we have two rooks, the same thing we should apply, but the thing is that your opponent might try to come near your rooks, and at that time you, and at that time you should not forget about your rooks. You need to push your rook towards the other corner, and then he will not be able to chase your rook because rook is a long distance piece. Same thing, we should, you should do it like the same, like the queen we should do. Okay, maybe he will play this move. Now you cannot play this move or this move, so what you should be playing? Oh, thank you, thank you. One ID is also enough. One ID is also enough. Let the channel grow slowly and gradually. As people will like it, they will definitely subscribe to it. So I'm not worried about this. The main thing is that people should learn something from it. People should enjoy something about the videos whichever I am creating. That is much more like good for me. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay, let's see how we can checkmate him. Here also we can use the same ladder technique. We can cut the opponent's king file by file or rank by rank like this. So if we give a check, he might play this move. Now, as we have decided to cut him from the file, so here we cannot give this check. So we need to come from behind here. So we will play rook to the b8 in this case. He might attack our rook. So in this case also we should go a little bit far away from the king, and now he might play this move. Then we can give this check. Again we are cutting him like this. Okay, so he will play this move, and then we will give this check. Then he will attack our rook. So here we should be careful that we should not be like lazy or something like that, and we should play this kind of move because it will be a blunder. So now in this position we should go back so that he will not be able to do anything, and maybe he will play this move. Again he is not allowing us to give any check. So which movie should we play? Guys, can you tell me? I know this is a very beginner stuff. Still we are learning this thing because it's very important for everyone. Whoever will be watching this video, who is a beginner, they will help it. It will be very helpful for them. Yeah, rook e3. Yes, rook e3 we should be playing, because if you play rook to the e3, then we will be playing rook to the g3 next, and then we will play rook to the h2 after that. So he might play king to the g6, then rook to the g3 check, king h5, and finally the king has arrived in the final rank, or you can say the corner of the board, and then we can play rook to the h2 check and mate. Okay. So next end game which you should be knowing is like how to checkmate with only one queen. So I will tell you, like whenever we are going to checkmate with only one piece, that is the queen or a rook, at that time king's activity is very important. Okay, because now it's like a team game. Until now only two rooks or two queens were able to checkmate the opponent's king. That was very easy. But when it comes to queen, only one queen cannot checkmate the opponent's king. He must take the help of the king. So it's like a team effort now. And remember this thing, chess is a team game. Although we play it alone, your opponent is there, but on the chessboard we have pieces and we need to coordinate with our pieces. If we are not coordinating with our pieces, then you cannot play the game of chess in a good way. Okay, so the simplest technique, guys, if you know already about this thing, can you name the technique which we always use while checkmating with the queen? we will be looking at many basic end games. This is just the starting. Knight distance. Yes, we should use knight distance. What is knight distance? Is like when the king, wherever our opponent's king is there, we will keep our queen at the knight distance. Okay, in this position, if we are on the, like, let's suppose he plays this move. So here we will keep the queen at the knight distance. Yes. So we will place the queen here. This is at the knight distance. This is the L shape, you can say, and it's the knight distance. Our next task, like, why do you want to keep like this? As we know that the queen is a very powerful place, it is controlling many squares. By keeping the queen at the nice distance, we are going to block our opponent's king in one kind of a big rectangle. Now the king cannot escape this rectangle, and our next task will be to push your opponent's king towards the corner of the board. Like, the corner of the board means this, all these squares are considered as the corner of the board, like they are the last files, last ranks, something like that. So always remember, you cannot checkmate your opponent's king in the center of the board. You must push him towards the corner. Okay, by playing nice distance, we will always try to restrict our opponent's king, and we will shrink the box. Shrink the box means what? We will be reducing the number of squares where our opponent will be playing. So maybe he will play this king to the f6 in this position. Can you help me? Which move will you play now? Okay. Yes, guys, whoever are new here, I will be doing a live stream with chess dudes. That is, I am Sankalpa Gupta and Samesh Shetty, and it will be at 9 p.m. tonight, and we will try to cross 100 puzzle rush survivals. Okay. Okay. Here, as I mentioned, we should keep the queen at the nice distance. We will play this move. Okay. So what will our opponent play here? Maybe here he will play. So again, we will play this move. So maybe he will play this move. Again, we will play this. Again, the night distance. See, 1, 2, 3. This is the night distance from the king. So maybe he might play this move. And slowly and gradually, you can see the blocks where the king is there, it is being reduced, right? Against lone king, can king plus knight, king plus root, king plus bishop plus knight promote, and king plus bishop, bishop cannot checkmate. Okay, I will talk about that in a bit, about what you can checkmate and what you cannot checkmate after this queen checkmate. Okay, so finally, if your opponent plays this move here, if after king to the g5, we will play queen to the f7, so that again it will be knight distance, and you can see that the box is reducing now. And finally, when your opponent comes in the final rank or something like that, we can play queen to the this square. So okay, one more thing is, like, what happens usually, our king is there in this case, but once we will just imagine the king was not there. Okay, I will push this king a little bit further, just for the to make the point clear. So here in this kind of positions, when we know that we should shrink the box, we always try to shrink the box more and more. So we might play this move. Until this point it is okay, but when your opponent will be in the corner of the board, like this, in this corner, then we should not put the queen at the nice distance at this position, because if you put like this, then the opponent will not have any squares to move around, and then it will be a draw. So my advice is, like, shrink the box, but only until when your opponent will be having at least two squares to move around. Okay, two squares should be kept so that he will have some kind of a space. And now when the opponent's king is completely stuck in the corner of the board, now it's time for us to bring our king. Don't forget your king. King is very, very important to checkmate. As we just saw, with just one here, after queen to the g3, you are not able to checkmate your opponent. We must have our king's help. So we need to coordinate. We should play king to the e3. He will play king to the h2, then king to the f2, king h1, and finally we will be checkmating our opponent's king with queen h3 check, or queen to the g2 check, or we can even checkmate him with queen to the g1. So this is some kind of a easy method we can follow. All you need to do is like keep the queen at the nice distance, push your opponent's king towards the corner of the board anywhere. Okay, anywhere you can push him, and whenever he is pushed to the corner of the board, bring your king towards your opponent's king and checkmate him with this king. Okay, one more thing is like we should be putting our king in front of our opponent's king. That is very very important. Okay. Okay, as Mayur was asking the question and saying this thing, well, with how many pieces you can checkmate the lone king, that is also very important, we should be knowing. So the thing is that we can checkmate our opponent's king when it is lonely with the queen, with the rook, with two bishops, with bishop and a knight, but we cannot checkmate our opponent's king with two knights unless and until our opponent makes a big blunder, that is going in the corner square. Corner square means exactly in this corner square, not corner files or not corner ranks also. Okay. So would you like to see one more basic endgame that is related to the rook checkmate? I hope you would like to. So we will see the next checkmate. Okay, fine. Just 1 minute, okay? Okay, fine. So we are now going to see the checkmate with the rook. Here also, we can checkmate our opponent's king with the help of rook and the king. We cannot checkmate our opponent's king with just rook. Okay. Here also what you need to do is like you need to shrink the box. You need to shrink the box means what? We need to restrict our opponent's king in smaller and smaller boxes. So can you tell me a move by which you can shrink or you can trap this king in the smallest of box? Okay. Okay, guys, please answer me. Okay, Tuvia, can you answer here? What will you play? Swarali, you are also there, I think. Harsha, he is a kid, so please leave him alone. Okay, he is a kid. Okay, so Rook F5 you should be doing playing here. Yes, absolutely. Okay, if you don't play Rook F5 in this position, here Rook F5 you should be playing so that we will be trapping our opponent's king in this small box in this case, and then we will be continuing doing that. But with just rook we cannot do it continuously because the thing is that our opponent's king will be attacking our rook. So in this case when rook is there, we must take care, means we must take help from our king. Okay, reduce the box. Rook F5 is better, and rook is any personal information. Yeah, my Latuvia, you should not answer each and everything. Just if you want to announce something, you can announce. You are doing, you are helping it. That's quite good. but focus on the chess when we are playing chess. Okay. Okay. Okay, here we might play this move, but as I was saying, we should be able to like checkmate our opponent's king. But the thing is that we must use our king. So if he plays this move, bring the king. We must need our king's help. So he will play this move, and now we will play this move, so that we will be playing this move or this move on the next move, and then we will play this move. Okay, now we will see how we are going to do it. So now the opponent's king is trapped in this box. Okay, and we are doing this with the help of the king. Without the help of the king, the rook cannot do it alone. So here he might play this move, and now we will bring our king. He will play. Okay, guys, can you tell me which moves will be playing? You will be playing here from white side. Which move will you play? Am I there, guys, with you, or am I still not there? Because I'm not able to hear myself. Can you tell me in chat at least? Just 1 minute. Okay, I think you are able to. We can. Okay, fine. So you can hear me. So let's go further. So can you tell me which move? Yes, I got already got T9 saying king to the f4. Definitely we should play king to the f4 in this position. And then if he plays this move, which move will you play here? Harsh, please, I told you, I request you, please leave him alone. He is a kid. Be matured at least. I hope that you are a matured person. So leave him alone, okay? This is a chess session. So please help us to spread chess, help us to grow chess. Okay. Yeah, rook to the e4 we should play here, and if he plays king to the d6 in this position, then what we should be playing? Yes, rook to the e5 we should be playing, or king f5 is also possible as Bokum was played, but every time we should try to shrink the box. In all the moves which we were playing in this case, we were just pushing our opponent's king towards the last rank or the last file here in this position. That was very important for us, right? Here, as he might play king to the c6 in this position, the king e4 will be played, then king to the d6, and now here in this position we can play king to the d4. Now king c6 will be played, and now rook to the d5. Again we are restricting our opponent's king slowly and gradually, and we are pushing him towards the corner of the board. So now king to the b6 will be played, and then rook to the c5. Again, we can see that the box is shrinking further and further, but whenever our box is shrinking, we should take the help of the king. We should go towards the our opponent's king. And here in this position, how will you shrink the box more? Can you help me? Yes, rook to the c6 we must be playing in this position, so that we will shrink the box more in this case, right? Here. So now maybe he will play this move, and how will you shrink the box more in this case? This guy, I'm waiting for your answer. Yes, rook to the c7 should be played in this case. And so now, as we know that we should not shrink the box more, okay? We should be like always keeping at least two squares for our opponent's king, so that he can move around. So he will play this, and now we should bring the king in the game. Yes, now we should play king to the c6. He'll play king to the b8, and then we will play king to the b6, and finally he will be forced to go in the corner, and now we can checkmate him with this move rook to the c8. So always remember this thing, that we need to shrink the box slowly and gradually, okay? And then when our opponent's king is pushed in the corner files, then we should checkmate him. So I hope you understood this thing. Tuvia, can you please focus on the class? Can you please focus on the class? Focus on the class. Don't pay attention to other things. It's very important to focus on the chess, okay? Pay attention to chess. Yes, it was very easy. Yeah, it was very easy. Sometime last back rank. Okay, now we are going to see how to checkmate with two bishops, okay? With two bishops it is little bit tricky. What we should be doing with two bishops is like, we need to push our opponent's king. Obviously we cannot checkmate our opponent's king in the center of the board. What we should be doing is like pushing your opponent's king any of the corner files or the ranks. That is the thing we must do in each and every checkmate we do. But for this, the bishops need to coordinate with each other. So here what we use, yeah, you like to do. Yeah, we need to build the wall in this case, and then slowly and gradually we can push him towards the final rank. So how to build the wall is very important. First of all, as we know that we have two bishops, we have light squares we can control with this bishop, and dark squares we can control with this bishop, and that's very important. Remember, slowly and gradually with the coordination with the king also, we must use the king also. It is a team effort, okay? Chess is all about coordinating your pieces and slowly and gradually pushing towards the corner of the board, okay? Yeah, Tina, thank you for joining us. So black might play here, and now it is a difficult task for many people, like how to do it. So I will just tell you, this is the kind of wall we should be putting here in this position. The thing is that the bishops are there, and we are controlling these four squares with this bishop. The same way we should push this wall further and further. Like if these bishops come to these two squares, then the wall will be created like this. If these two bishops come at this square, then the wall will be created like this, and slowly and gradually we will be pushing our opponent's king towards the corner like this. Here he might go here, and we can create the wall in other ways also. We can put the bishops on these two squares, and then in that case the wall will be created on the e5, e4, e3 and e2 square, okay? Okay, so here we will play maybe bishop to the f3, or sorry, bishop to the f3 in this case. So after bishop to the f3, your opponent, this square is controlled, so he might play king to the this square. Now here we should not forget that we should bring the king. Okay, so we'll bring the king, we'll just play this move. He might play this move attacking our bishop. So as we are going to build up the wall, we can play bishop to the here, because now we are going to build a wall on this square. So we will play bishop to this square, and now king is not having these two squares. Always remember, whenever it is possible, when the bishop is there and we have the support of the king, place the bishop in front of the king. Okay, exactly in front of the king. If you place the bishop, then he will be forced to go away, then he will play this move. Now as we know that our bishop should be on the same file or the same rank, so where will you put this bishop so that we will be able to build the wall? Can you help me? Yes, we should play bishop to the e4 in this case, so that we can build the wall like this, right? And now the king might play here. Now we should play the king here. So where should we play the king? We should play the king here. Slowly and gradually we are moving towards this square. Yes. Yes, see you later, Mayur. See you later. Yeah, so here sometimes your opponent might play this move, so we'll play king's move, and after this we can see that all these squares are being controlled by our bishop is controlling everything on this diagonal. This bishop is also controlling everything on this diagonal, so he is being restricted slowly and gradually, and our aim of pushing him towards the corner of the board or the corner file is being achieved. So he might play king to this square, and now it's time to bring our bishops to these two squares or these two squares. So where will you put your pieces now? I think we should play our bishop here, because next move we are going to place our bishop to this square, and then we will be controlling these two four squares. Okay, here what we should be doing, black might play king here in this position. Okay, so here when the king is here at this position, we should just play king to bishop to this square. Now we are building the wall on these four squares, so the king cannot pass this wall, and he cannot even go anywhere because our bishops are controlling all the square. So now you can see the king is having 1 2 3 4 5 and 6 squares. These are very limited number of squares which is having in this position. Okay, so maybe he'll play this move. Now it's time to bring our king further, so we'll play this move. He might play this move, and now we should be a little bit careful, because now as the box, or you can say the wall, is pushing him towards the corner file, then final rank, we should be careful because it might be stalemate in that case. So what we should be doing here, can you tell me? Yes, we should be playing king to the c3 in this position, and now he is forced to go on the final file. Now we are already controlling this square, so maybe we can control these two squares also. So how will you control these two squares, can you tell me? You mean bishop to the c4, right? Yes, we should be playing bishop to the c4 in this case, so that we will be controlling these two squares. Now he will be forced to go at the square. Now as he has already there in the final rank or the file in this case, our next task will be, our next task is to force him to go in the corner squares. These are the four corner squares where we can push him. The nearest corner square is a1, or you can even force him to go to the a8 square. Whenever he is in the corner square, then you can checkmate. So here if you want to push him towards the a1 square, so we need to control this square now, right? So how will you control this a5 square, can you tell me? Which move will you play? Yes, bishop to the b6 we should play here. Krishna, you are also right. Then he will be pushed to forced to go here. Now you control this square. Yes, Bokam, you are also right about this thing. How will you control this a4 square? We need to control this square with our bishop. So I think bishop to the b5 is the bishop to the b5 we should play, and then he will be forced to play the king to the a2 in this case. Okay, guys, please spread chess and the love. I will say no need to be too much involved in other things. We are here to spread chess. We are here to help each other. Whoever is there who wants to learn chess, we are here. Okay. I hope you are appreciating these things, and we should help each other doing these things. Okay. So in the chat, please be respectful with each other. And Tuvia, can you please stop answering everything? Please focus on the chess, Tuvia. Please, I am requesting you a lot because see, be respectful for each other. Just be respectful for each other. We are here to spread chess. There is no other motivation here. The things which we are doing here just for, okay. I hope you will understand this thing. Okay. Uh, well, I think it's Harsh, and you said to Mayur, shut up. That is not something. Is Mayur is a very old person, so I think that is not something. Basically, we want to discuss about chess here, Harsh. I will not block you anywhere because I hope you are also a good player, and we should be focusing on chess. Okay, and you will help us to spread chess more. Okay. So there is no hate, there is nothing like that. Just be nice with everyone and enjoy chess here. We are here to enjoy chess. Okay, we are here to enjoy chess. Okay, sorry if you felt bad, but I felt like it should be good, it should be chess atmosphere here. Okay. Okay, now here, so here I will tell you the last thing about this thing, that when our opponent's king will be in the corner, at that time your king should be, your king should be there at the nice distance from the corner. As in this case, the nice distance means your king should be there on c2 or the king should be there on b3. Okay, so here we should play king to the c2, and if your opponent is trying to escape in this square, like if he is going trying to go here, we should play bishop to the c5, further restricting our opponent's king, and then he will be placed to forced to go king to the a2 in this case, and then bishop to the c4 check, and then finally he will forced to the go to the king to the a1, and now we will be playing bishop to the d4 check and mate. Okay, it is a checkmate. So the thing is that in two bishops, whenever we are checkmating our opponent's king, or whenever we are trying to checkmate our opponent's king, we should build the wall slowly and gradually with the help of the king. We should push him towards the corner of the board, and then towards the corner of the board, and then when it arrives at the final rank or the file, we should push him towards the corner square which is nearest to him. Okay, so now we will see some basic pawn end games, how we should be winning in those pawn end games. Okay, So let's see here what we should be doing. Here, as we can see, can you see the position? We have one extra pawn. White is having one extra pawn. Black is having one king. Only one king is there from black side. Okay. So if it's black is there in this position, how will you defend in this position? Yeah, bishop and knight is a little bit difficult to understand for the beginners. I think maybe I will do it in the separate video for that thing. Definitely I'll do it. Harsh, thank you for the suggestion. That is okay. Yeah, okay, wait, to here Krishna is saying will go king b8. Okay, that is the previous. So guys, how will you defend in this position from black side? Do you have any idea how to do it? Because this pawn is there, and if you don't play in a good way, then you will not be able to do it. So before going further, I would like to show you one thing. Tuvia, can you please focus on the chess? Tuvia, please focus on chess. Yes, yes. Okay, so before we go further here in this position, we should understand this thing also, that there is a concept called as opposition in chess. Okay, opposition is a very easy concept to understand. All you need to do is like okay, fine. So here we will be looking at opposition for some time. And then we will end the class in just 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, so here opposition means we are going to see like our king and our opponent's king are standing in front of each other, and it can be said that there will be only one file between them, right? And sometimes what happens, like here, if you play this move, your opponent means black will play this, he will not allow him to go further anymore, right? And if you play something like this, black will play again this move, taking the opposition. Opposition means what? Standing in front of your opponent's king, just next to him, and not allowing him to go to any of the other squares in this case. And black will have the opposition. Definitely, Krishna, we should be doing that thing. Okay, so another thing is that opposition can be of different types also. This is the direct opposition, which is vertical. And sometimes what happens is like I will tell you, there the king might be there on these squares, and I will put the king like this. Okay, so in this position I have kept like this. So we will be considering these things also, like this is the diagonal opposition in this case, right? And this is horizontal, you can say. In this case also, the king is having the opposition. Whenever there is only one square between the kings, then we call it opposition. It can be diagonal, it can be horizontal, it can be vertical. Okay, and vertical opposition is like in this case. So the another thing is that the opposition can be more also, like one square, three squares, or five squares. So you can say that the number of squares between your king and your opponent's king should be odd number of squares, right? So in this position, we can see that there are three number of squares between the kings. So it is opposition, because whenever any side tries to come near your opponent's king, then it will be converted into short distance opposition. So let's suppose here black plays this move. So which move will you play so that you can take the opposition here? Can you answer me? Yes, we should be playing king to the f4 so that it will be converted into short distance opposition, because now white is controlling everything here. Yes, f4 should be played. Well, Swarali, you are suggesting king to the f3 in this position, but if you play king to the f3 in this position, then it is not any opposition. As I was mentioning, the opposition will be there if your king and your opponent's king are having 1, 3 or 5 squares between them. So odd number of squares should be there between the kings. That is what we should be doing. So king f4 is something which should be played in this position. Okay. And another thing is that, okay, here black, if black plays this position, how will you maintain the opposition in this position? What will you play from white side? Which move will you play? If white king wants to reach king e4, well, king e4 now is not like you in opposition, we should be standing in front of the opposition, like king is on f7 in this case, right? Right. So yes, we should be playing king to the f3 in this case, and then there will be three squares between the opponent's king. So we should play king to the f3 in this case. Yeah. So here there will be three squares between the. So it is a opposition in this case. So if whenever he tries to, if he plays this move, then I'll play king to the g3. If he plays this move, and let's suppose he tries to go a little bit behind in this position. So how will you maintain the opposition? Yes, definitely. We should be playing king to the e4 in that case. So here I hope that you have understood the opposition. Now as three squares are there, we will be going towards the final thing, that is opposition when it is too much long distance. So as I said, there will be five squares between each other. One, two, three, four, five squares will be there. So will you please concentrate on chess? I'm requesting you. Okay, please, we are here for chess. So there will be five squares between the here, and we can say that this is the opposition in this case. So now black will might play this move, and how will you maintain the opposition here in this case? Because there are five squares, so we need to keep our king five squares between each other. There should be five squares between each other, right? Here if you play king to the d3 Krishna, there are one, two, three, four squares in this case. Okay. So this is not opposition. Black will be very happy to play king to the d7 square. Then you might play this move, and then he will play this move, and it is black who will be taking the opposition. Taking the opposition means what? He will be stopping white's king wherever he is going. If he plays king to the e4, then black will play king to the e6. If he plays king to the f4, then he will play king to the f6, and then it will be a opposition. Yes, sir, you are right about this thing. After king to the d8, white must play king to the d2 to maintain the opposition in this case. So as we understood the opposition, one more thing I would like to talk about is like when we go into the pawn endgame, the position which I was showing you earlier, this was the position which I was showing. Okay. Okay, in this position, okay, I was showing you from the white side, so I will put the white pawn here for you. Okay, now this pawn is going towards this square, and he white is trying to queen the pawn. So what you should be doing in this case is like, you should put your king just in front of the pawn until your opponent's king arrives at this square or this square. Means whenever your opponent, like whenever you try to play, means of, now we are thinking this position from black side. Okay, so you want to defend in this position. Okay, okay, Krishna. So here, if we want to defend the position from the black side, then what we should be doing is like, if we are on the move in this position, let's suppose white is there and white plays this move. So here, what we should be doing is like, we should always try to get the opposition in this case. Okay. Can you hear me properly? I think you are able to hear me properly. So king to the c3, then we should go straight back to the d6 square. We should not play any other move. We should play any other move here like this only when our opponent's king just next to our pawn. Okay. Like, let's suppose here your opponent's king has arrived at this c4 square. At that time we should play king to the c6, because once you play king to the c6, we are taking the opposition in this case. Correct? And we are not allowing our opponent to come forward, because once you stop your opponent to come forward, then he will not be able to progress properly. So maybe he will push the pawn in this case. Then what we should be playing, we should play our king just next to the pawn with king to the d6, and he might play this move king to the d4. So which move will you play here? As I mentioned earlier, we should maintain the king in front of the pawn until our opponent's king arrives next to the pawn, like here or here. So which move should we play here? Yes, we should be playing king to the d7, so that we will maintain. And if our opponent king comes on the e5 square, now what we should be doing, we should maintain the opposition. We should not allow your, yes, here we should be playing king to the e7, because if we play king to the e7, then we will be like stopping our opponent's king. And now it's very important, if you play this move, now again we should go in front of our opponent's pawn. Here I will tell you what happens. Okay, if you don't, now here king to the d7 is the only best move, or we can play king to the d8, that is also possible in this position. But we should not play king to the e8 in this position, because if you play this move, then your opponent will play king to the e6 and he will be taking the opposition. Now we will be forced to go to the d8 square, and in this case he will play pawn to the d7, and now we don't have any square to take the opposition. Usually we can go behind, but here we cannot go behind, because we have arrived at the last file, you can say, or the last rank in this case. So king to the c7 is forced for black, and white will play king to the e7. So to stop this thing, what we should be doing, after giving the check, we should play king to the d7 or king to the d8 in this case. Okay. So now white will play king to the d5, and now which move will you play? As I mentioned earlier also, we should go straight back on the same file of the pawn. So which move will you play here? Yes, we should be playing king to the d8 in this case, because as we already saw, if you play king to the e8 or king to the c8 in this case, then it will be a mistake, because white will be very happy to play. king to the c6, then king to the d8 and d7. And now if king e7 comes, then king to the c7, and white will be able to queen the pawn because we are controlling the queening square. So in this position, it's very important for us to go to the d8 square, because whenever our opponent comes to the e6 square, we should be able to take the opposition, and we should play this move. And even if pawn is pushed in this case, we don't need to worry, because we can play king to the d8. And now it is white to play, because if the white is there on this move, then he will play king to the d6. Then because if he wants to save the pawn, then it will be a draw, because we cannot go anywhere. So and if he plays somewhere here, then obviously he will lose the pawn, so that is not a good news for him. So the drawing technique is very easy to understand. When we want to draw playing against the pawn, all you need to do is like maintain the opposition, try to put your king in front of your opponent's pawn, and whenever your opponent tries to come in front of the pawn, like this king to the e4 or king to the c4, in that case we just take the opposition. Okay. So I hope that today these many small or initial basic endgames were enough for us. And with this thing, I will take your leave, guys. Thank you for joining me, and meet me at night at 9 p.m. also, where we will be solving puzzle rush survival with two of my friends. And at 6:30 also I will be there with some interesting in middle game topic. Okay. Thank you very much for joining me. Okay. Thank you very much.